Every postseason delivers unforgettable moments, but some performances rise above the rest, the ones that leave fans speechless and rewrite what greatness looks like under pressure. When everything was on the line, certain players didn't just show up, they dominated, turning games into instant classics and etching their names into sports history. From unbelievable comebacks to jaw-dropping displays of power and precision, these performances remind us why the postseason is where legends are born. And now, one recent display has everyone asking if we've just witnessed one of the greatest of all time. Stay tuned, because we're counting down the most electrifying, history-defining performances ever seen when the lights shine brightest. Shohei Ohtani has already built a legacy that most players could only dream of achieving, but what he did in the postseason just changed everything. Baseball fans from Los Angeles to Tokyo watched history unfold as Ohtani carried the Dodgers through October with performances that defied logic, physics, and maybe even baseball itself. Before we dive into the 10 greatest postseason performances in baseball history, it's impossible not to start with the man who has redefined the sport in our generation, Shohei Ohtani. What he did this year in the postseason didn't just make headlines, it rewrote them. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because what we're about to relive are the kind of moments that baseball fans talk about for decades. When Ohtani stepped onto the mound for the Dodgers in October, you could feel the energy shift. He wasn't just another player trying to get his team to the next round. He was the face of the franchise, the global icon, the two-way phenomenon who had already done everything, but this time, it was for glory. Game after game, Ohtani made the postseason look like his personal stage. The man hit moonshot home runs, pitched shutouts, and dominated both sides of the game like no one since Babe Ruth. His clutch moments against the Braves, his laser-focused outing in the NLCS, and that historic swing that sent the Dodgers to the World Series, it all became part of baseball legend. Fans in Dodger Stadium described it like electricity in the air. Every time Ohtani came to bat, you could hear 50,000 people hold their breath. The sound of the ball hitting the bat was different, it cracked like thunder. Analysts tried to find words, commentators ran out of superlatives, and even the opposing team could only stand and watch. This postseason wasn't just a performance, it was the kind of spectacle that will be remembered as one of the greatest runs in baseball history. And that brings us to the broader story, the 10 greatest postseason performances ever. Because Ohtani's dominance deserves to be mentioned in the same breath as the legends who came before him. Let's rewind the clock and relive the moments that made baseball fans believe in miracles, clutch genes, and pure greatness. The postseason has always been the stage where heroes are made. Some players shine for a game, some for a series, and others leave an impact that echoes for generations. And as Ohtani has now joined that exclusive club, it's only fitting we celebrate the others who've defined what postseason greatness truly means. When you think of the postseason, one of the first names that comes to mind is Madison Bumgarner. The 2014 World Series wasn't just a showcase, it was a one-man demolition of the Kansas City Royals. Bumgarner threw 52.2 innings that postseason, posting a microscopic 1.3 ERA, and most importantly, coming out of the bullpen in Game 7 on 2 days' rest to deliver 5 scoreless innings. That's not just guts, that's greatness. Every pitch he threw felt like a message: you're not beating me tonight. He practically put the San Francisco Giants on his back and carried them to their 3rd championship in 5 years. Even years later, people still call it the greatest pitching performance in postseason history, and it's hard to argue against that. But Shohei Ohtani's 2025 postseason deserves to stand right next to it. He didn't just dominate on one side, he dominated both. Hitting clutch homers while shutting down elite lineups isn't just rare, it's something that shouldn't even be possible. Yet Ohtani made it look effortless. He was the ultimate weapon. When he hit that go-ahead homer in Game 6 of the NLCS, it felt like watching destiny in motion. You could almost feel baseball history being written in real time. Fans in Japan were awake at dawn, holding their breath. Fans in Los Angeles stayed on their feet the entire night. When the ball sailed into the right field pavilion, the stadium shook. That swing wasn't just power, it was poetry. Of course, when you're talking about postseason legends, you can't forget about Reggie Jackson, Mr. October himself. Back in 1977, Jackson put on a show for the ages. In Game 6 of the World Series against the Dodgers, he hit 3 home runs on 3 consecutive pitches from 3 different pitchers. That's something that still sounds impossible even today. The crowd at Yankee Stadium was roaring, and Jackson's swagger, confidence, and sheer power turned him into a living legend that night. Every swing looked like it was powered by destiny. That's the kind of night that defines a career, and for many years, it was the gold standard for postseason greatness. But now, fans are beginning to mention Ohtani's name alongside Jackson's. Because in October baseball, timing is everything, and when it mattered most, Ohtani delivered every single time. His combination of power, poise, and presence was unmatched. He didn't just play in the big moments, he owned them. And then there's David Freese in 2011. No one saw it coming. The Cardinals were on the brink of elimination, down to their final strike in Game 6 of the World Series. But Freese refused to let it end. He hit a game-tying triple in the 9th, and then, in the 11th inning, launched a walk-off home run that sent Busch Stadium into chaos. His performance didn't stop there. He went on to win World Series MVP. For those few nights, David Freese became a hometown legend and reminded everyone that the postseason doesn't always belong to the biggest names. Sometimes, it belongs to the ones who rise when the lights are brightest. And that's what makes Shohei Ohtani's story even more beautiful. He's the superstar, the global name, yet he plays with the heart of someone who's still trying to prove himself. Every inning, every swing, every glance toward the dugout screams hunger. When he pitches, he's locked in. When he hits, he's fearless. And when it comes to October, he doesn't just show up, he takes over. Let's not forget about another legend, Derek Jeter. The captain of the Yankees defined what it meant to be clutch. His entire career was built around postseason magic, but the flip play in 2001 and his countless timely hits made him a symbol of October excellence. Jeter was the kind of player who made the impossible look routine. He wasn't the loudest, but he was the most reliable. Every time the Yankees needed something big, Jeter delivered. His leadership, composure, and consistency are the reason he's forever etched in postseason lore. And when you compare that kind of leadership to what Shohei Ohtani brings, there's a fascinating similarity. Ohtani doesn't need to yell or show off. His presence alone changes everything. His teammates feed off his energy. When he steps up, everyone believes. That's what postseason legends are made of, the ability to make everyone around them better simply by being there. Now, how about Kirk Gibson in 1988? One of the most iconic moments in sports history. He could barely walk. Injured, limping, and yet, in Game 1 of the World Series, Gibson stepped up to the plate against the unhittable Dennis Eckersley. And somehow, with one swing, he hit a walk-off home run that still echoes through Dodger Stadium decades later. That fist pump around the bases became a symbol of courage and heart. It's one of those moments that gives you chills no matter how many times you watch it. Fast forward to now, and the irony is poetic. Shohei Ohtani, wearing the same Dodgers blue, gave fans new moments that rival Gibson's. His home runs, his dominance, his fire, it's all part of the same legacy. The Dodgers have always been a team built on moments, and Ohtani just added another legendary chapter to that story. From Reggie Jackson's swagger to Madison Bumgarner's dominance, from David Freese's clutch heroics to Koufax's grit, every one of these performances defined an era. And now, Shohei Ohtani has entered that sacred territory. His 2025 postseason will be replayed for generations. Kids will watch his highlights and dream. Analysts will compare future players to him. Fans will remember where they were when he hit that home run, or when he struck out the side to seal a victory. Because moments like that don't come around often. Shohei Ohtani didn't just make history, he became history. His name now sits beside the legends of the game, and maybe, just maybe, his performance sits at the very top of them all.